Will Lei return in Tekken 8 is a question that I've been thinking about for a while now. I've made some references about it in videos, but I just want to make a full-fledged video on it right now, so let's just get into this to see if we can even answer that question. Now, of course, I'm not a developer, so I can't say for sure, but I'm going to try to just, make an argument as to why I think he can and why I think he can't. And ignored the Lei gameplay in the background. I don't really play Lei. I just needed some gameplay clips. Everything I know is just from my friend Kai Creates, so check out his channel. I'll leave it in the description. Now I'm gonna start on a more positive side of whether Lei will return with talking about how vocal the people who do want him back are. For example, there are people who say they just will not buy Tekken 8 until Lei is in the game. I've seen plenty of people who say that, and I kind of understand that because I know a lot of people play just one character. Now for me, I play a lot of characters, so regardless if Lei comes back, nothing is gonna affect me. But I do understand the people who only like Lei because again, Lei is basically Jackie Chan. I get that a lot of people like him, right? And they made the collab with Karate Kid that had Jackie Chan but didn't bring him back, and I guess I understand why people were upset about it. But um, also, for example, this is another thing that I've seen a lot. When you go on their Instagram page and you talk about, like you see them post anything on the Tekken Instagram page, there's always gifs of Lei players or not gifts of Lei players. Sorry, there's always gifts that Lei players keep spamming of Lei, and they just keep asking for him back. There's a lot of people who do that. So it does seem like there's a lot of people who want Lei, right? But let's continue. Now, a lot of Lei players are loyalists, like I just mentioned, which is why they might be a minority, but a very vocal minority that wants him in the game. Now, let's talk about why he may not be in this. Uh, Now, on the opposite end of why he may not return, I think to start off, he's just very complicated for newer players, and even some not newer players. I think he's complicated because he just has so much stuff. He just has too many moves and stances, or maybe not too many, but like if you don't want to like pick up a character like this, you want to play a simpler character. You don't go to like Lei. You're gonna go to like Paul or something like that. That's one of my favorite things about Paul, his simplicity. Um, but yeah, there's that. And also, by far, he's by far, I believe, the most expensive character to make in the game, considering he has a ton of stances. I believe 12 to 14, maybe even more. I could be wrong, but he has, at minimum, I believe, 12 in Tekken 7. And I don't remember the exact amount of moves either, but I believe he actually has more moves in Tekken 7 than King does, which is crazy because King is usually the character with the most because of his grabs and, and such. But um, yeah, so that would take a lot of money for them to use, to make Lei. And now you could say, well, a character that this many people want, of course he's going to make money back, right? Um, no, not necessarily, because not only is he expensive to make, his usage rate is in the dumps in Tekken 7. Now, a lot of people, that's why DLC picks Harada's sort of like, everybody jokes about he's antagonistic on it, but it's like it's sort of true as to why he is like that. Um, or not sort of true, sorry, but there's sort of a reasoning to why that is, and it's because of Lei players, I believe, because they just beg for Lei and just didn't play the character, because he's actually 45th out of 51 characters in Tekken 7 usage rate, which is abysmal for somebody who has begged for, right? And the people below him, in order from 46 to 51, right, is Akuma, Master Raven, Gonryu, Akuma, Eliza, and last is Panda. Now, there's the argument that we don't need two bears in Tekken 8, which we have them both, and I agree, but I think making one bear and just basically making it two by reusing it most of its moves is not as expensive to them as Lei. But I still think, honestly, it's a horrible waste of a slot because I'd rather Lei by far. But do I want Lei back in the game? I used to go back and forth on this, and honestly, my stance right now, honestly, yeah, I do want Lei back, but not while the game is not in a better place. Because I think that a stance character in a game where everybody wants to complain about stances, because admittedly some of them are just annoying as hell. The stance 50/50s at times. It is really really strong, and I think they would find a way to make Lei super strong as well. So I think that it would be better if he were to come back in maybe season 3, maybe 4, where the game is hopefully going to be more tame. Which I know some people are like it'll never happen, but I don't know. Street Fighter Five apparently picked it up from the start. I mean that game was absolutely horrible, and it's decent now, I guess. Um, But yeah, I do believe if he returns, though, I don't think his usage rate will be in the top half. But I believe he can have a decent usage rate in Tekken 8 if people who keep asking for him back actually play him. So again, that's really up to you guys if you guys would actually play the character. Everybody wants to ask for him. I see some people that are like, yeah, I never really played him, but you can't have Tekken without Jackie Chan, and it's like, I mean, you clearly can, because if you're not going to play the character, then don't ask for him back, because that's just a slot that other characters want, or the other characters that I think should return. For example, I just made my last video was on Miguel. I think Miguel should 100% return, and I think Miguel will return because his usage rate is actually pretty decent. If I remember, he's in the top half. Yeah, I just searched it up. He's 22nd. Now, usually when I make videos like this talking, I make them longer, but for Lei, I think that this is a nice run time to explain both sides and sort of get both of them in. Now, I want to see what you guys think, whether you guys want Layback, and if you do want Layback, would you actually play him? Because I know a lot of people say that, but they don't play him. So I'm very curious. Now, again, I do want Layback eventually, but currently I think that we should probably pave the way for other DLC characters. Like I said, Miguel is, in my opinion, a good contender. Um, and honestly, I can't even think of any other characters right now off the top of my head. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Just check out my second channel if you want the description. I'm like I said at the start, I'm putting Kai's in this description as well, and my Instagram as well if you want the description. I mean, just every link down there. Um, so shameless plug, right? But have a good rest of your day or night or whatever. And again, let me know. And thank you for the recent support. I've been seeing a lot of views and likes and comments on some of the recent videos. I've really been appreciating it. Thank you so much. And bye bye.